What's good, everybody? This is EQ from La Familia Music Group, and we bring to you the What's Dope in the Slow podcast. And this episode is brought to you by Bad Princess Boutique, located at 1009 East Main Street in Montrose, Colorado. So, ladies, if you're looking for a new place to shop, this is a spot to go. Or fellas, if you're looking for something for your lady, this is a spot to go. I definitely recommend it. You know, affordable prices. You guys will find some good shit. So without further ado, I have the honor of having the owner of Bad Princess Boutique. What up, girl? What's going on?
What's up, Edgar? Thank you for the introduction.
Oh, you know.
Nothing much, just chilling.
That's awesome. So you recently opened up your boutique.
Yeah, literally.
How was that coming along?
It's been going really good. I have a new assistant. She's amazing. Literally made me realize that I've just needed an assistant my whole life. That's like I've been missing out.
You know, I think I told you this when I saw you last. But it's hard finding that good help. You know, someone you can trust and someone you can really just leave.
Exactly.
And hope everything goes good.
Yeah, like in charge of your hard work, like your pride. What is it called? Yeah, right? Like your pride.
Yeah, your pride, exactly. I mean, because,
pride and joy.
Exactly, because it's hard finding that help and also someone that, because well, at least me, I like to run my business a certain way. I like to make sure everything's perfect. I'm a control freak.
Yeah, seriously.
And again, it's hard finding that person you can trust. So that's dope that you got an associate now, assistant, whatever you want to call it, someone that's helping you out the store. And she seems like a friendly soul. She's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Like when I'm not at the store, I'm confident that, she's going to be just as good as I would be. She's going to take care of my business just as if it was hers. And I love that. It is really hard to find somebody who will put that much like care and just dedication into things nowadays, and shout out to Ray. She's amazing. What's up, girl? I had to shout you out.
That's right. What up,
Ray? Just made my life 10,000 times easier. So I appreciate it.
That's right. No, we definitely appreciate the help. So, before we get too into this interview, I want to, first off, just say I'm proud of you for all the success and all the hard work you've been putting in. You're just a couple doors down from LFMG
now we're
Studios.
Neighbors.
That's right. And I know how these buildings are. They're old, and I've seen how much work you've put into that in a short period of time. So you've gone your hands dirty. You had pay, and you got down. And so not anybody can just get down and
do the work. Yeah, exactly.
Push through for their dreams,
Exactly. And obviously there's, times when I was a little disappointed because I'm like, I should have help or, like my friends should be helping. But I'm like, you know what? Honestly, it's not that bad. And I learned how to do things, so I learned how to cut tile and put it down. And you know what I mean? Like 100%. You just kind of figure it out. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, it just kind of comes and you have to deal with it.
Right. No, I agree 100%, and I always say that sometimes what you're learning is worth more than what you're getting paid.
Exactly.
And like you learned how to lay some, tile down and you learned other things while you were in the process of that. So, sometimes that experience alone is more valuable. Exactly. Exactly. Priceless. So, I kind of want to touch on your mobile boutique because even though you just opened up the physical store, you actually started with a mobile boutique, right?
Kinda. So I actually started off selling sterling silver rings. I was gonna wear more, but because I got distracted by the lotion, I forgot them.
That's my bad. My dry ass hands. I was like, "Fuck, hey, can you bring some lotion?"
Seriously, I know it's okay though. Like I am wearing one from the boutique though. If you can, if you're watching this on YouTube, and I actually started out selling only $9.25 sterling silver rings because when I was little, as a Mexican child, we were always wearing gold earrings, gold necklaces, gold rings, everything. So I was always obsessed with jewelry and accessories. And I wanted, as I grew up and I was a mom and had more expenses and stuff, I was like, I cannot afford to be dropping down like $300 every time I want a cute little ring, And I was like, there has to be a better way. I would see all these Instagram influencers and I'm like, I need to find out how I can copy their look for less, you know, because I'm a big thrifter. I'm a big money saver, and I get that from my mom. And I just honestly, you know, I started with rings, and I did Facebook live sales out of my beauty room, like where I did my makeup and stuff.
Like at your house?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
Out of my house.
Nice.
And then we eventually grew into my garage, and I was doing only Facebook sales and online. I did have a website. Eventually, though, I saw I think it was like a nail, like mobile nail truck kind of thing.
Okay.
And it reminded me of when I was younger, and, you know, we lived in the hood.
Yeah.
But there's guy in a Sprinter van, would just drive around and sell clothes. I don't know. Actually, maybe. I don't Does he have a Sprinter van or what?
That's right.
Our executive producer was not the man in the van.
All right. Just wanted to make sure, all right? It reminded me of someone.
I know. Well, like, it was crazy. He just had... I just honestly, even at such a young age, I've always been a hustler. And I was like, that is a freaking brilliant idea. Like, what? You know, this man just drives around and sells clothes out of his van. Yeah. And I loved it, especially because even though his clothes was more like a little more expensive, mind you, I was used to 75-cent rack at JCPenney, you know? And my mom would actually buy me these things. Like, even if they were $15, $20 for a shirt versus 75 cents or $1, you know?
She'd hook you up.
She would hook me up. Yeah, she would actually buy from this guy because he would come to her house. So that's kind of how that like idea started, that I wanted to do the mobile boutique. And I already had a little bit of like a cash flow in, and I saw an old 1965 camper, super beat up, super ugly, so bad. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to go. I'm going to get that. And I think he actually had it for like $900, but I talked him down. I was going to ask,
how much you pay for that?
$750.
Wow.
And me and my friend Esmeralda, we actually split it because we kind of wanted to do something together, you know, like we're both girl bosses.
That's right. And I can appreciate that.
I thought that she might, you know, we might like working together. So we went in on it together, and it was so much fun, honestly. I loved the experience. Again, it was just a pain in the butt because I had never done construction and stuff, and now I was having to like rip out a camper and figure out how I'm gonna, you know, like put flooring and stuff. And thankfully I actually found somebody that did all that stuff for me, like the floor and the walls.
There you go.
But every like nail after that was all me, you know, like I actually made, because I was on such a tight budget, I actually made my like little booth thing to check people out of an old TV stand and like a plastic shelf, you know. I just like alien tape is my best friend.
That's right.
I don't even drill things, just alien tape. It's like liquid nails, I guess.
I call that Mexican engineering.
Heck yeah, that's what I tell my husband, Mexican ingenuity, you know. I'm I'm Mexican, not Mexican. I'm gonna figure it out.
That's right, 100%.
Even if it's like glued with sticks and tape, I'm gonna do it.
That's right. No, that's dope though, because you know, I've seen how the mobile boutique looks amazing.
Thank you. So
I would. Just knowing that you started it from, you know, some dude that probably just had it, or some, you know, family, whatever it is, that just had it, just, I could say, abandoned possibly, you know, or just they weren't using it. I would think they would.
Seen. I like TMI, but I ripped out a wall panel and like fossilized mice were in there. I was so grossed out. I have like a mouse phobia, so that was just disgusting for me. And I was like, it didn't even look like a mouse though. It was like so sucked dry, and I'm like, okay, this dude like he had not used it in a while. Like, it's been a minute. And oh my God, it was so worth it though. I'm so glad he hooked me up. And honestly, he was just awesome too. He was super helpful. So sometimes when you're coming across your entrepreneurial journey, you just meet some awesome people who are just like, you know what? Like, I like you. I'll hook you up. Here, $750. Like, 100%. Whatever.
Yeah. So, you know, that's now a closed chapter. The mobile boutique.
Yeah, now it's my closet at home.
There you go.
Now it's an addition. Yeah, not big enough. I'm just kidding.
You're a woman, so
I know my husband's watching this. He's like, she's not kidding.
That's right. Oh man.
Well, I'm a fashion boutique owner, you know? Like, what do you think? And I'm a thrifter. And when you like thrift things, you get things at like $2, you know? So I'm like, exactly. Shit, so I go crazy. And I love thrifting though. It's That's right. It's the Mexican in me. Like my mom used to always take me thrifting and it's just ingrained in me. It gives me like a thrill.
No, for sure. Like I said, you can definitely find some awesome cool stuff. Like,
heck yeah.
I remember because I do some thrifting here and there myself, you know, just to go see what I can find. And I think last time I was at a thrift store, I bought 2 vintage Broncos hats.
Oh wow!
Still with tags and everything.
What the heck?
Yeah, you know, I rock them, I have them, but I looked them up on eBay, and I think I paid like $2 per hat.
Oh my God.
On eBay, they were selling for like over $50 just because of the vintage. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, you
like
really
you have no idea.
up.
Exactly. And what I love, actually, you know, let me tell you, across the high school, you know, Montrose High, there was a thrift store, and like I loved popping in there. I actually got my first Louis Vuitton from there. She was selling it for like super cheap, and I was able to get it authenticated and everything. Nice. I bought that thing for $120.
Nice.
Like a vintage Louis bag. And so I am all about thrifting because sometimes, I do. Of course I still got it. Even if I never use it, I'm always going to hoard it. That's also the Mexican in me. I'm just going to keep it in the back of my closet. Yeah, that's another issue.
Well, that's awesome. Well, you know, I see what you're doing, and I want to ask you, what made you make, or inspired you, I guess you could say is a better word, is to take that big step and open up a physical store?
So it actually helped a lot because my friend Nabor, shout out to Nabor, he came to me, like, you know, he worked at Hers and His where I'm at now. So that's where it used to be. And he used to come in, you know, chat with me. Like, we've been friends since forever. And he's friends with, like, my childhood best friend. So we, like, you know, we just talk. And he would tell me, you know, like, hey, I think they might be moving. It might come open. And then, you know, that friend Pedro, he would tell me, like, Nabor told me it's going to open. We should do it. You know, he fixes phones at the store. So we kind of share the rent and stuff and the space. Nice. So Nabor told me, and we were like, yes, let's do it. So I told Yesi, the owner of Hers and His, I was like, what, the second that thing comes up, or the second that you guys are ready to move, like, please let me know, because I want it, you know. And it's such an affordable place. Like, everywhere else would have been crazy expensive, you know, honestly out of my reach, because I am still in the starting stages. COVID really delayed a lot of things for me. I moved right in the middle of like last year, so that kind of messed things up for me a little bit too, you know, like client wise. I all of a sudden, it went from like being in Grand Junction to now being in Montrose. Like, I lost all of my Grand Junction clients that I had built and had to start over. So I thought that, you know, I could just drive that thing around, but that thing is so like flimsy, you know, like the walls kind of sway, so my clothes would start to fall off. I went to Grand Junction once and I got there and started crying because all that horrible trip up to Grand Junction full of potholes and everything, you know, just going up there. Everything was a disaster. And I'm like, oh my God, like I have 15, 20 minutes to get things ready for people to come. And I was just like, I don't even know what's here. Like, what's left? Is our stuff broken? Like, it was just like mountains of clothes and my fixtures and stuff. So I'm like, what happened? And I'm such a crybaby. So immediately I was fucking crying. But like, after that, I was like, oh my gosh, I think the next step is to, open a physical location, because it's so cute and it's so unique and it's such a fun idea. But honestly, like the actual execution of it was a lot harder than I originally anticipated. Yeah, no, I can see that, you know, because it is a very unique and it's very, it's dope. It really is, you know, just it's a whole experience within itself. Exactly. You know? Oh my God, I loved it. But I do see how it can be just stressful and challenging. Exactly. Just pulling that trailer around everywhere, you know? Especially because up and down the Western Slope. Don't actually have a truck. So I would have to borrow my dad's truck, or my dad has 2 trucks, but one's technically my little brother's, you know, he likes to drive it around. So I would have to ask either my dad or my little brother to let me borrow their cars so that I could actually haul it, which is why sometimes I would just leave it here for like kind of weeks at a time because I'm like, I have no way to haul it back and forth, you know? It's so and consistent.
Right. No, it is a pain in the ass, and I can only imagine, it's dope, but fuck.
Yeah.
With that being said, you being a businesswoman, what are some challenges you're coming across or you've came across?
Well, honestly, just I guess like staying organized.
Okay.
It's like not an outside obstacle, but it's an interior one, that
Right.
I wish somebody would have told me, like, the second you start your business, document every single thing. Don't think like, oh, I'll remember it, or, oh, come tax time, like this might not be important, because every little thing you want to make sure that you start off on the right foot and that you get it, because that has been an obstacle that I've placed in my own path so many times, where I'm like, I have not kept the bookkeeping up to date, and now I have to like try and finish everything like in the next couple of weeks, or you know what I mean? Then I'm scrambling to look through all my receipts, because I have like sometimes stacks of receipts like this that I'm like, oh, I'll put them in later, or I'll log them in, and I never do. So just honestly, one of the many is staying organized. Like, make sure you do that, and that you do everything right from the beginning. You don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, the IRS doesn't fuck around.
No, they don't. It could be like 2 pennies, and girl, they're coming after you. It really costs $10,000 to send out their agents, but those 2 pennies they'll come collect.
Oh, 100%. I know from experience.
Exactly.
I wasn't really worried. I was like, whatever,
Exactly.
You're
like, I'm probably not going to make that much or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh crap, like I do have to, pay some taxes or log it in. And then your bookkeeper's like, wait, you didn't keep track of this the whole time? You're like, it's in my brain, like, can I just like airdrop it to you?
Yeah, brain drop.
Yeah, seriously. So just, that's one of my like biggest. And then the second one is honestly finding reliable vendors.
Okay.
Because I used to just like try to find vendors that were accessible, not good quality, because I was starting off. I like had no idea, it's a very trial and error kind of business, honestly, any business that you go into. But this one in particular, because like you can get clothes that isn't like what it looked like online. And most of them are no refunds. So now you're stuck with like $250 of a shirt, and you can't even sell it, That's happened to me at least only twice. But still, that's like $500 that now money. I'm out. Yeah, it's a lot of money, actually,
And for a small business, it's a lot of money that you could have invested that in something
honestly,
else. That
$500 honestly could make or break a small business. Like,
straight up.
Honestly, it's a huge amount of money when things are already tight. The first year is super tight, and $500 can be the like straw that breaks the camel's back. But I'm thankful because I'm a little stay-at-home wife, and so my husband helps bail me out every now and then.
But I gotta say that being a stay-at-home mom is a job within itself.
Exactly.
I know from experience. Well, I'm not a stay-at-home mom, but my wife works
hard
a little bit after we had our first baby, right? Just because we didn't have someone to trust to. Well, besides my family, but they also have lives. Yeah,
seriously, they don't want to watch your kid 24/7.
Exactly. So that's what she did, and it's like I'm not in those shoes, but I can. Yeah, exactly. Like I could see that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, nah, I'd rather pay all this fucking money for daycare or whatever it is,
and have my wife's sanity.
Exactly.
Like happy wife, happy life.
That's
and
what
if your
say.
wife's freaking stressed out, like with her hair all a mess because she couldn't take a shower, the kids at her leg, then you're gonna come home and she's gonna be grumpy, and it's a domino effect. Yeah, exactly.
No grumpy wives.
Yeah, you're like, it's worth the money in daycare. I'll pay double. I don't care.
That's right.
I know. I'm so grateful because my mom, we were actually able to, kind of retire her. She was working at a hotel for years.
Okay.
Since I was like 12-ish, I think, maybe even sooner.
Oh, wow.
Just, working her life away, like her chemicals that she would use, like to clean toilets. First of all, you have to like kneel to clean toilets. My mom's 52 now. Never mind. I didn't say that. I don't think she wants me to say her age.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah, cut that out.
So she's 25, right?
Yep, she's 25. Okay. And, like things are harder now because, she's older and technically she's a grandma. And I just saw when my son was born, he stayed at the NICU for a month. And so I saw the amount of love that she had for him. Like, she took a leave from her job just to like come be with us, you know, because we lived up in Grand Junction. Yeah. And so she took a month, and honestly, it was so nice. You know what I mean? It was amazing.
I do know what you mean. Oh yeah, babies are no joke.
It's necessary. You know how they say it takes a village? It really, really does. It really does.
It really does.
And there shouldn't be any shame in that. You know, like my mom is a freaking beautiful person with him, and you know, notice I said with him. I'm just kidding. But she is like, she takes really good care of him, and she's just overprotective enough to where she almost takes care of him better than me. You know, I'm like, oh, it's a little dirt, he's good, and she's like, ay, lávale las manos right away. You know,
that's how grandmas are, though. I feel, you know?
Exactly. And so it's been really nice. Like, I was able to retire her, me and Blake, and kind of like put her on our payroll to watch him specifically, you know. And honestly, like, she loves it, and he loves it too. Like, when we get there to drop him off, he's already trying to open the door. He's so excited. And honestly, she has way more toys for him than we do at my house. Like, she does not care if her whole house is like a Six Flags just for him. You know, that's her little boy.
That's right.
And me, I'm like, it's not aesthetic. I'll hide it in his room. You know what I mean?
You didn't do this for us.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. Oh my God. Yeah. Remember, like, you would get spankings. Like, look, there's one toy underneath that table. Right. Yeah. I'm like,
it's like, why were you like this with us?
I'm like, Mom, now you got like toys in every single corner of the room just so he can go, like, not be bored, you know, anything for him.
That's right. No,
which I'm thankful for too, you know.
Oh, 100%. It's all, you know, it's all part
joke,
of the love. It's all, you know. I'm sure when we become, you know, grandparents, hopefully no time soon. But I feel like, at least me, I would be the same way, you know, because I am rough on my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I'm a dad.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Well, they're your kids. You want to protect them.
That's right.
And you're like,
you want to teach them.
We say the same thing. Our parents used to say, I know what I was doing at your age, you know, but honestly, like, look how we turned out.
Right.
And if I would have had that trust, you know, to be able to tell my mom, like, hey, I'm going to be out in this field till like 3 a.m., at least she would know where I'm at, instead of like, I'm at my friend's house at a sleepover. You know what I mean? Hopefully she doesn't see this. To this day, I have not admitted it.
That's right. We'll also cut that off.
Seriously, this is gonna be like a 2-minute long podcast. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, but no, it's all part of the love, like you said.
Yeah.
And it was all necessary, you know, just like their strictness, their discipline, I guess, wasn't always the best. I guess, you know, like, it was always there. They were at least there and provided us with enough morals and kind of like knowledge to make good decisions, like be able to make our own choices, you know, and not be stupid.
100%, you know. And now from parents' perspective, I see that, you know, like, yes, you might hate me right now, but 10 years, 20 years, whatever, how long it takes, you will know that I wasn't telling you all this stuff just because.
Exactly.
You know?
It's just funny that right now for us with toddlers and stuff, it's like them wiping their poop on the wall. And I'm like, I know you don't think I'm right now, but that does not go there.
I mean, especially with toddlers, because you got a toddler, I got a toddler.
God, exactly.
And they're just learning life, you know? They're learning rights from wrongs. And, you know? And
I think that was also like something important that our parents taught us, is kind of like what not to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, sure, you do need to be tough with them, you know, like tough love, obviously, that's part of being a parent, but doing it the right way, you know, like and I'm sure when our kids grow up, they're going to be like, my parents screwed me up too, you know what I mean? But all we can do is try to be better than what we went through, which made us strong and stuff. But like, you know, kids don't have to be super strong. They don't have to go through trauma to like develop good judgment and understand us, you know? Yeah, exactly. Breaking generational rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, I kind of want to go back to the business talk, you know, because I mean, our parents made us into bosses, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm reading your sweater right now, Bad Princess Company, you know. So I wanted to ask you, how did that name come about?
So, my husband likes to say that he contributed to it, so I have to say that.
You gotta give him his credit.
But I don't remember that. Okay. I know.
That's right.
I feel like maybe he repeated it to me after I said it, and probably he thinks that that's where he helped, but I specifically just like, we were sitting around, you know, around his computer because he's like a software, you know, engineer, and he works on his computer all the time. Yeah. So this was right after we had my son. I think he was, let's see, it was in February. So he was about 6 months old. So about 6 months old.
Okay.
And we were just sitting around the computer, and I told him, you know, like my idea that I wanted to start a jewelry business.
Okay.
And I was like, how could we come up with something, you know, that's like catchy and also represents me, and it doesn't sound weird, you know? So it only took us a couple names to go through before we were like, that's the one, you know? And I kind of told him, I was like, I want it to be like Princess, because you're icy as fuck, and like you have the earrings, the necklace, the like hella jewelry everywhere, you know? Like I want it to be like bougie, but I want it to be like, bougie, which is like kind of like bad, or you know what I mean, which is like she's a baddie. That's right. And so I was like, bad princess, you know. And
that's dope.
Sometimes people are like, when I give them my email and stuff, you know, like my insurance lady, she was like, okay, what's your business email? And I'm like, bad princess. Like, it just sounds like I made it when I was 12, you know, but I'm like, no, it's my company name. Exactly. Seriously. Seriously. And she's just like, okay, like, I'm just making sure I heard that right. I'm like, yeah, girl, it's right. But it's cute. Like, I take so much pride in my name because it is catchy.
Yeah,
and my friend Pedro, he's always like, you're the bad princess. I'm like, that's goddamn right. Like, I am.
Recognize.
Yeah, seriously. Right. And it's funny because, like, I never, like, named it thinking, like, oh, I'm bad princess. I was just like, it's a brand. Like, bad princess is what we make our guests feel like. Exactly. You know, like what we make our girls that come in with their self-consciousness. And they're like, oh, you know, like this love handle here or this over here. Like, we teach them. We kind of style them, you know, like I love doing that. It's handles. Fun. Yeah, exactly. Blake would say more cushion for the pushing, but I'm like, yeah, it's true, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
And like, we just love making girls feel like bad princesses, you know, like a bad bitch, but a princess, a queen at the same time. Like you want to be, you know, especially because a lot of us are now moms, you know. Yeah. And so we want to be like bad, but in a good way, you know, like just like still not lose our self-identity, but carry it out with class, you know?
Right. No, 100%. And I love that, you know, because I feel like
2,000 years later.
Well, at least me, my opinion, you know, is that a woman should have that bad in them, you know?
Yeah, that bad energy.
But also keep it classy.
Exactly.
You know your time
Tasteful.
and the place. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I really wanted to ask you about that. It's just because, you know, it's basically two different things, but when you put them together, it's like, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's great. It is what it is out there. And I also love it because, anytime I like choose a name or something for anything, I like look it up. I Google the hell out of it. Like I'm on like page 12, you know, making sure that there's nothing like this. That's that, you know? And so, there wasn't. And I was like, wow, you know, and this is it. And the first logo that we came up with, me and Blake actually came up with it, from scratch. Like we drew up the font, like we drew up the crown. That's and I say we, but he did it, and he's my little like developer monkey.
That's dope though. I like how involved he is. You
know,
he's
super involved.
It really helps support you and just push on with your dreams
and we spend
goals.
Time together,
and I'm sure it works both ways.
Exactly. You know? We're building our business for both of us, you know, for our son to have and for us to like be able to give him the life that he deserves, you know what I mean? 100%. And so I think honestly it's a bonding experience for sure. Like I obviously deal with like the day-to-day thing, you know, and when I need help with my website and stuff or just moral support for him to hear me out about like a rude person or something like that, he's there. And that's a dope. Huge part. Exactly.
It is. We all need that, I guess you could say, moral support.
Yeah, seriously, especially from our spouse. You know what I mean? I feel like when we start a business, it can cause a lot of tension, especially in the first couple of years.
Stress, all that. Both,
The first couple of years take a while for you to become profitable and for your spouse to just maybe constantly being like, well,
where are you
know.
throwing all his money at, you
exactly,
know?
yeah. And Blake's not that way. He's just like.
He knows, right. he knows.
Yeah, exactly. Más le vale que sepa. Yeah, exactly. No, straight up. Because I'll be like, okay, what about the 4th coffee maker you bought this year? Because this one's just better. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. We could both go at it.
Right. That's 100%. So what is, talking about Blake, what is he going to get at you for Valentine's? Do you know?
Well,
or is it a surprise?
no, I don't know. But you know what? I always give him like crap for, I'm like, are you going to ask me to be your Valentine this year? I'm like, you haven't even asked me, And he's like, what are you going to want for Valentine's? I'm like, you haven't even asked. I don't like, who says you're my Valentine, Like,
I'm not your Valentine's yet.
You have to ask me.
Right.
So this year he actually asked me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Him and my son came to visit me at the camper at the mobile boutique. And he had like a little like gift, and like my love language is like gift giving, because that was just, childhood trauma. Like my mom would make it up to me with gifts. Yeah.
That's right.
And so I was like, okay, this is how we show love, know?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually got me like a little pedicure thing. Like I have such weird posture and I'm just all kinds of messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he actually gave me like a little foot massage thing, like one of those pedicure things where he can like, he said he would give me the pedicures and massage and stuff. So I'm like, heck yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, as long as it comes with like lifetime pedicures, I'm good with this.
I need you to sign this paper.
Yeah, exactly. This little disclosure right there that I'm accepting this with these conditions. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I don't know what he's actually going to get me, but I'm already pretty spoiled. So I'm like,
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. He
I'm
takes
like,
care of you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And he's horrible at like keeping secrets until the day of, He'll get something for my birthday in like October. He's like, you want to see what I got you? You want to see what I got you for your birthday? Are you sure you don't want to see?
He's more stoked about it.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, babe, I'd rather it be a surprise. Like there's like a whole nother month for my birthday. And he's like, it's a good one. Are you sure you don't want to see it? It's a good one. You're going to want to see it. And I'm like, no, I love surprises. Like I want to be surprised. And he's like, but I want to show you now, And I'm like, gosh, dang it.
So I got to ask, how do you, how I want to get a woman's perspective. And obviously, this opinion varies.
Okay.
But how do you feel about Valentine's Day?
Honestly, I love it. Any reason to get a gift, I'm for it.
I think it's a fucking scam from a man's perspective. Goddamn.
Well, like, honestly, think about it. Most of the time, like, sure, some guys might, go out of their way to do something for their wife.
Right.
But most don't,
I guess
so,
you're
like,
right. Yeah.
Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and birthday is kind of like
reminder, like,
yeah,
hey,
it's kind of like exactly. Maybe get her some flowers, make her feel special, because it's so easy as an adult to get kind of caught up in the day-to-day life, So Valentine's Day is and Valentine's Day, the way we celebrate it in Mexico is Dia del Amor y la Amistad. So Day of Love and Friendship is what it's called. And my mom, even though like if my boyfriend would get me something at the time or not, she would always make sure to get me something because, like that was her day of love and friendship. And I loved it. Like it's a day where you get to kind of feel wanted, loved, and special in somebody's life. Hey, I always make sure to get my friends, even if it's like a little lipstick or chapstick or even $3, $2. Exactly. I'm like, dude, I was thinking of you. Like, thanks for being my friend, and it means a lot to people,
It does, yeah.
I think maybe what might be a scam is how you portray it. Like if it has to be like I had a friend that she would complain to me that her boyfriend would get his sister something on Valentine's Day. Okay. So he would buy his girlfriend something, but it wasn't valid because he would also buy his sister something. And I'm like, that's the kind of expectations. No, no, they're not. I'm like, and that's the kind of expectations that are wrong with Valentine's Day, where it's like, if it's not a $400 gift, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It should just be like, oh, thank you for thinking of me on this day. It's a holiday. It's like National Dog Day, a reason to get your dog a treat because like he's kind of in the back forgotten and he eats your kid scraps. You know what I mean? Under the table. That's right. So it's a nice day to just kind of like make it about them and kind of remind yourself like I appreciate you and stuff. So holidays are just kind of a scam if you place the capitalist expectations, like.
I guess I see where you're putting down, and like I said, it really depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But, I do think it's a scam. One, because I get my wife things,
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere,
just
right?
To get them for
surprising
her.
right?
Exactly.
Just to get it from her, whether it's flowers, chocolate, or a gift, or a purse, or whatever it is. I just get it for her, right? And I feel like, but you putting it in that way, not everyone does that.
Exactly.
So this is kind of like a slap in the face, like, hey, dude, you
want
to keep this chick or
exactly,
vice versa,
seriously. Well, and like a lot of girls do get their feelings hurt if they don't get something from their spouse because they're like, there's this one day out of the year that you couldn't even just, pretend or something, you know?
And pretend. Like you couldn't even fucking, you had a reminder.
There's literally every single grocery store, on your way to the beer aisle, there's fucking teddy bears, and you couldn't even get me something like that, like M&Ms, something simple. Like I said, it's just about the gesture, I think.
That's right. And with that being said, if you're looking for something for your lady, stop by Bad Princess Boutique.
You already know where to go.
1009 East Main Street in Montrose, Colorado.
1009 for my dyslexics. 1009 East
what
Main
say?
Street.
Fuck. I
You said
1009.
You said 1009. But think
1009?
about like if you're hearing that 1009. I guess I don't know. Yeah, it works either way. I just like 1009. Or you could say 199. 1009.
1009. Hey, that actually sounds fire. That sounds like an album.
Okay, that's going to be my new address. Girls, we are at 1009 East Main Street. Come see us.
Yep, right next to McDonald's on Main Street at the Montrose Plaza.
The one with the single arc, not the one with the two M's.
That's
it's
vintage.
It's the vintage one. Yeah, there's only I think 10.
Or shit.
I think 10, no? I need to Google it. Can I Google it?
Yeah, Google it real quick because
it's going to bother me.
No, yeah, I think there's only a couple in the nation.
Yeah, in the United States.
Arc. Yeah. With the single arc. And we are blessed to have
it
the one.
Here.
So don't go fuck it up because then they're going to have to replace it.
You know what I miss, though? How McDonald's, 12 states.
Gave you sauces?
I'm still mad about that. Okay, don't remind me. I had just had enough wine that I forgot about it until you reminded me.
I remember when they used to give you sauces.
You know what?
When you asked for them.
Goddamn McDonald's. I'm about
put them on blast,
I'm gonna put you on blast. All right.
Maybe they hear this. And
McDonald's in Montrose, Colorado. Y'all never have my buffalo sauce. Okay, like I'm tired of it. Where's my buffalo sauce? My friend Amairani used to work there, and she says y'all always have extra boxes of buffalo sauce in the back, but y'all don't want to go get it, so you better give me my sauce.
Now you threw your girl under the bus.
Yeah, no, I don't think she cares. I don't think she'll mind.
All right, Amrani, I need you to give me the code so I can get in there for some buffalo sauces.
Seriously. Well, and you know what's funny? Literally one time they didn't give Blake the buffalo sauce, just like today, just like this day, today, the present day, okay? But one day in the past, they didn't give him buffalo sauce. And I told him, I'm like, babe, I'm not eating these freaking chicken nuggets. I was hangry. I'm like, I'm not eating these chicken nuggets without my buffalo sauce. Like, what the hell? They're just dry ass nuggets. Like, the sauce makes them, you know? Yeah. It's like tacos. You need salsa. If not, 100%. They're just dry as hell. Yep. And he was like, they told me they didn't have buffalo sauce. They told me. Yeah. I'm like, please go back in there and be like, are you sure?
You let him know.
Are you sure you don't have my buffalo sauce? And he is like the most introverted person ever. So he's like, I just imagine him being like, excuse me, my wife says, are you really sure you don't have buffalo sauce? Seriously, like palms sweating, knees weak. And like, he came back and he's like, those sons of bitches, they did have buffalo sauce. And
they gave it to him.
Yeah. And those even before Maidani told me. So I'm like, what the heck? But anyway, there's only, let's see. Only 7 original McDonald's golden arches still exist, is what it says.
Only 7.
Yeah, I think so. That's just off of the first page. I need to do further investigation, so don't quote me on that.
Hey, that's all right. We'll we'll quote that.
Yeah, there's only 1 to 7.
Yeah, 1 to 7, and guess what? It's right next to Bad Princess Boutique.
That's right, and La Familia Studios.
That's right.
And yeah, we're going to be here.
And
a bunch more businesses. You guys, Latino-owned businesses.
That's right.
That I will get into later when my famous question comes to time.
Okay, which is right now. Okay. I think we're getting close to the interview, so I'd like to ask my famous question.
Let's do it.
Andrea, what's dope in the slope?
Well, Edgar, let me tell you. Let me tell you what is dope in the slope. So first, like I said, I really want to shout out my friend Ray. I feel like she deserves a second shout out here.
Shout out to Ray.
Because she is a kick-ass girl. She is just awesome. I love her to death. She is like me. You know when you hire somebody and you're like, I just wanted a clone of me, like somebody that is going to put as much work in as I would. And that's you, Ray. So thank you, babe. I love you. And then we do have this cute little plaza, guys, in the Western Slope in Montrose, Colorado, 81401 970.
Ayo.
And they are all.
That's right.
And we are all actually Latino-owned businesses now. So this whole little plaza, guys, is Latino owned. Se habla español. If you guys want to stop by and check us out, we have tacos, we have haircuts, we have jewelry, clothes, we have music, we have hoodies, we have
gyms,
everything. Gyms, yeah, that's right. We now have a new
church.
gym and a church.
A fucking church.
If you want to be godly about
you
it,
can do all of this. You know, you can come
Hallelujah.
sin with us and then go
pray.
Go pray.
Go
and,
thank Jesus that we're here.
Tell them, go get forgiven for your sins.
Exactly.
It can all happen here at this Montrose Plaza.
Exactly. You can, exactly. You have it all. Like, literally, what else do you need? You know, it's our little mall.
That's right.
It's the Mall of Montrose.
That's right. The Mall of Montrose, yeah.
We should name it that. We should ask our landlord lady to give us a sign that says that.
You know, the name, I actually, this is what I've been thinking of. Because,
we don't have a name.
We don't have a name.
I never know what to call it. I'm just like the little brown building next to McDonald's.
I want to name it, and this is a name I've had forever. I haven't brought it up to our landlord.
I'm going to hate it. I'm just kidding.
I want to name it La Plaza.
Yeah, because it is, it's Latino owned, and this side of town has a huge Latino presence. You know what I mean? Like 100%. I grew up just right down the block,
down the street
like
or whatever,
on San Juan.
Yeah.
And everybody knows everybody here. And it is really a Hispanic owned business,
It's straight up.
And like Latinos are just kind of, I don't know, so family oriented. Like you guys are our familia, like everybody's family here. So we welcome everybody with open arms. And I think that's something that, would make this plaza beautiful, is just naming it after the people who make it, honestly, you know what I mean, who make it an experience.
I agree. 100%. I do think we're missing a carniceria or a candy shop or something.
I know. Well, did you know there used to be a carniceria? That was a big staple in my childhood. Like we would always just come to get bread and pan and stuff, la payares, you know what I mean? That was always when I got my first when I got my first ticket with the cops. I actually was coming out of la payares. So shoot.
Coming out of payares.
Good and bad memories.
For speeding or what?
No. So there was like a cop following me home, and since I'm a dreamer.
Sounds like a creep to me.
I know, right? Seriously, that's what I'm saying. Just because he has blue lights on top, that makes it okay. I was 15, sir. Pulling me over. And like, well, since I'm a dreamer, I couldn't get my driver's license or my driver's permit, and I was already working. I'd been working for years, so I had to drive myself, and I was a damn good driver, okay?
Yeah.
But no, I am. I've never gotten a speeding ticket. The only time I got pulled over was that time, and one other time for the stupidest reason.
I won't argue with you because I don't want to end up like Blake.
Exactly. Exactly. That's right.
I don't mean that, brother. I love you.
So he pulls me. Oh, I was coming home from JCPenney. That was my first job, and I was so ecstatic. It was in fashion. It was on point. I loved it.
That's right.
And I was coming home. It was late. We used to close at like 9 and get off by like 10. So I was coming home. He was following me, and I was like freaking the fuck out because I'm like, I don't have a driver's license.
He followed you for a while.
He followed me for a really long time, and you know why? I was a race car girl, so I had a little lowered ass white Mitsubishi Eclipse. Yes, exactly. So I think, and my windows were tinted as fuck, So you already know. He thought I was probably like some little, like gangster or something, And what I heard was that there was a guy that was like 28 or something, and he was actually like had a warrant out, I guess, and he used to drive like a white Eclipse. But this man followed me for a long time, and I was like literally crying, Edgar. Like I was 15 years old without a driver's license, scared of the cops, you guys, because that's like something that we get ingrained into like when we're young. Exactly. You know, we're like la migra, the cops. You know, we're like you don't talk to them, like you don't look at them funny. Here, right. Exactly. I was scared shitless. You know, I was like, I used to have nightmares when I was little that like immigration was coming to just snatch us up. You know, and so I was terrified, and I turned into payares. I was like, okay, I'm like shaking as fuck. I'm gonna get some pan. You know, that always helps. And payares was closed, so I turned in my little 2001 Mitsubishi had the automatic lights. So when I pulled in to check if La Panaderia was open, I turned them off, obviously, because, you know, I was getting down. And the lights were on and everything. Like I said, they were supposed to be open, but like I tried the door and it was closed. I was like, shit, okay. And I was like, what do I do? Like, do I wait here? And that was, I didn't live at San Juan anymore, but I was like trying to derail him to see if he was actually following me, you know? And so I turned onto East Townsend instead of West, where I, you know, moved to. And he followed me, so I freaked out, went to Payares, and then I forgot to turn my lights back on when I was coming out. So because even though I was still in the parking lot, because I was moving without the lights at like 9:30, 10 in the night, he pulled me over. And like this poor cop, because I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't have a license. And he's like, honey, I need you to relax.
Stressing him out?
Yeah. Seriously, he's like, what the heck did I just pull up into? Yeah.
That's right.
And you know what was funnier? That like, it wasn't funny at the time. I thought I was going to be deported, like not even kidding,
Straight up.
Because another cop pulls up behind him and like they're just talking outside. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do?
They were saying?
What do I do? I don't know. They're probably like, did you get him? Did you get that guy? I bet you he was like radioing in them, being like, this guy, I'm going to call him Bob. This guy, Bob, you know, I see him out here. I'm following him. I'm on pursuit. He's turning onto East Main, and then like another cop slowly coming around or something, you know. But then it ended up being three cops, like cars or whatever that were behind me, and
they were really
like,
on this guy, whoever they were looking for.
Well, I'm like, oh my God, you know, I was freaking the fuck out because I'm like, this is serious. Like, there's three of them now. I did something super bad,
right? And
even though it wasn't like speeding, even though my headlights weren't off for longer than like 2 seconds, he just wanted an excuse to like see who was in the car, you know. And like once he finally let me go, like my friends the next day were like, I saw your car, like what the hell did you have? Do you have pot? You know, like, because you know how we were back in the day. So they were like, did you get caught with drugs and stuff? I know, so you're like, nothing's changed. I'm actually worse.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I was being stupid. And my mom too was like, you should have just come home. You shouldn't have tried to like derail him. And I was like, honestly, I was just panicking. Like I was so scared.
Think about that
my hands were shaking as I was driving. I was like super paranoid, you know. And I was completely sober. I would like for the record to state I was completely sober.
They wouldn't let you go if you weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, they probably made you call an adult or something.
Yeah,
right?
well, what was good was that like I had some kind of ID. Oh, I think it was like my registration, you know, that did have my name. And it had my old address on San Juan. So I was like, I was just going home. My mom asked me to pick up some bread, you know, and like then, you know, like I forgot to turn on my lights or whatever. And he just gave me a ticket for driving without a license. But it was super easy. Like, oh my God, I swear to God, I was going to have a heart attack though. Like, I was literally panicking.
With the stress.
It's so hard, you know. I try to explain to my husband what fearing the police really feels like, and he just can't relate, you know what I mean?
That's, you know, again, we all have our own problems. But, you know, me being a dreamer as well, just like yourself, you know, shout out to all the dreamers out there doing their thing, you know, chasing their dreams.
Making it work, exactly.
That's right. It's, you know, it is something that not everybody can relate to.
Exactly.
Like, I can completely relate with you because I've been there. I grew up on that, you know, same way and all that. So yeah, I can completely relate what panic you were going through. Like, oh shit.
It's a different kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. It's kind of like, I could say maybe like a citizen's nightmare of like the CIA just showing up to your house or something. You know what I mean? But it's crazy because you fear every single like authority figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now there's things like HAP, the Hispanics Affair Project, that kind of bring in cops to educate you. Like, please don't ever be afraid to call the police if you see a crime being taken. Like, I don't care if you're undocumented. If you see an injustice going on, nobody's gonna harm you. you know, like
Yeah.
go ahead and call the police, you know, and that's something that I feel like is very needed in this community because
Right.
it's scary.
It is
you know,
scary.
it is. And
Like-
it's just, it's generational, you know, like
Right.
we've all feared it for years. And
Right.
it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
You know? But that's another conversation.
Yeah, no, it really shouldn't, you know. And I again, before we end this off, because you know we went on a little rant there, but it's all good because it was a good story. But
I always do. I talk too much. I always derail too.
Hey,
I
if
get
you're gonna-
sidetracked.
if you're gonna talk, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, seriously. So maybe he'll have me come back one day.
That's right, exactly. You know, but you being a dreamer, you being a Hispanic, you know, I want to give my props to you and
Thank
just
you.
basically give you your flowers for just grinding and
thanks,
just
dude.
doing your thing, you know, because
Yeah.
I love to see that. You know, I love to see the community just hustling.
Exactly.
You know, and when I say hustling, no, I'm not talking about drugs. All right. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. You know, so I think you answered the question. What's dope in the slope? You know, you shouted out a couple people. You know, so shout out to them. And yeah, thank you for sponsoring this podcast and this episode and other episodes. You know, so everyone, again, I want to remind you, go shop at Bad Princess Boutique, located at 1009.
See, I told you it was hard. You have to say 1009.
I was gonna say 1009, but then I was like, "Fuck, I might get slapped right now."
Isn't that what you said? What did you even say? I don't know. That's what I heard.
But yeah, I appreciate everybody. Everybody have a good day.
Put your guard down so we could get on it. I'm trying to learn your scars so that I could kiss on it. And learning how to love you lies in your trauma. Let's heal together, mama. Hey baby, give me all of your love. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let me show you how to be loved.